The SpeedForm Throttle Controller that we have here will be one of the most affordable devices of its kind in the category, available for all 2011 and newer Mustang owners who might be looking to help eliminate the lag or delay in their drive-by-wire car. Now, the SpeedForm controller will feature 5 preset modes, which are further customizable thanks to the additional 9 positions of sensitivity adjustment, allowing you to essentially custom tailor each mode to your personal preference. Now, price point for the SpeedForm is going to hover right around 120 bucks, and the install itself is a completely plug-and-play job, guys. So figure a soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the old difficulty meter here, and no more than a few minutes of your time to complete from start to finish. So throttle control devices have been around for a little while now here in the aftermarket and can be found on the site under a few different names or aliases. But for the most part, guys, they all exist to serve that same common purpose or goal. And that is to help eliminate the perceived lag or delay of you pushing down your throttle pedal in your Mustang and the car not always reacting in the manner in which you'd like it to. Now, I'm not going to get really scientific in this specific video on how these things work, but if you did want to have a better idea of basically the operation of a throttle control device, we have a very good breakdown and demonstration over on our American Trucks Forward YouTube channel that really does show these devices and how they work and how they change the pedal feel in your ride. So again, feel free to check that out over on that channel if you'd like to see a very good breakdown of the operation. But to summarize in a nutshell, these devices basically increase or in some cases decrease the throttle voltage, which in turn directly affects just how much or how little your throttle body opens. For instance, in race mode, you're going to see a far greater voltage at any given throttle input when compared to a stock or eco setting. And that's why the car is essentially going to feel a lot faster or sportier given that same 25% throttle input in race mode when compared to that same 25% throttle input in stock or eco mode. And again, this is something we really do demonstrate in that video we just talked about. But one thing I really do want to clarify here is that these devices do not add any horsepower or torque or acceleration like a tuner would. This is strictly a throttle device, as the name indicates. Now, it might feel like the car is a little bit faster than before, but that's simply due to the throttle being open more than it was before, depending on your mode. Now, again, if you did want to add more power along with increasing your throttle input, an aftermarket canned or custom tune is still going to be the only way to roll in that department. But let's talk a little bit more about those different modes, because that is one of the cool things about the SpeedForm device. Now, right out of the box, guys, you are getting 5 different modes, including stock, which is going to be exactly as it sounds, right? There are no changes made to your throttle sensitivity, and therefore the car is going to function as it did before in stock form. And this is going to be displayed on your device as NO. Secondly, there will be an eco mode, which is designed for fuel economy benefits. Now, unlike the performance modes, which tend to crank that voltage over stock, the eco mode is going to do the exact opposite and reduce the voltage given the same input to help increase your fuel economy. Now, this is going to be displayed on the device as EC, or short for eco. Up next, we have the comfort/sport mode, which is going to offer a nice balance of performance and fuel economy. In fact, I think most people or most owners would probably choose this as a good compromise for daily driving duties, and it will be displayed on your device as P1 on the SpeedForm. Finally, we have the 2 most aggressive modes, which will be sport and race. Now, sport mode, or P2 as it's displayed, will improve your throttle input noticeably over stock, eco, or comfort, but at the same time, it's not going to be too touchy or over the top. And then last but not least, there is that all-out mode, which is race, or P3. Now, this mode will offer the most aggressive voltage ramping, which will have your car feeling like a completely different animal once it's engaged. Now, if this or any of the modes listed are a bit too much or too little, SpeedForm offers 9 positions of sensitivity adjustment and is one of the most unique things about this very budget-friendly device. Again, currently the most budget-friendly on the site. So if, for instance, that race mode is going to be too much like a hair trigger, for lack of a better word, you can always dial it back a bit thanks to that sensitivity adjustment. And again, that really goes for any mode. So you can even crank up that eco mode or crank down your performance modes depending on your preference. Now, we've talked a lot about the different modes, but we haven't actually covered the device itself. Well, here you go. Very sleek, small box with a mode button that will obviously help you switch between your different modes. And then of course there's a minus and plus button to help you adjust that sensitivity that we just talked about. Now, as you can see, this thing is definitely small enough to place just about anywhere, and even includes some adhesive on the back here to allow you to adhere this to your dashboard, your console, or even your cluster. Now, it also includes the plug and play wiring, as you can see, which will connect to your throttle pedal harness and will include roughly, I would say, 4 to 5 feet of wiring. So you do have some flexibility on where you want to place your display. And one thing the site does point out that I kind of want to reaffirm to you guys here is that because this thing doesn't tap into your OBD2 port, because it doesn't physically change or alter your car's tune, there is no footprint left behind once the device has been removed, and therefore that should help alleviate any possible warranty concerns that you may have, and is another reason why these devices are just so popular. Last but not least, guys, this is a great time to remind you to check out the numerous customer reviews and ratings here on the site to get some honest feedback from owners who have actually installed this on their rides at home and have been really impressed with the changes overall. But now we want to show you just how easy it is to install the SpeedForm device on your ride at home. So without further ado, check out our detailed walkthrough right now.
So the first step of this install is actually going to be to plug in our wire harness to our control box. We're going to do this on the table just because it's a little bit easier to do this outside of the vehicle than it would be when we're underneath the dash. So we're just going to make our connection here at the box, plug it in, make sure it clips in and retains, and then we'll move underneath the car. So let's get started. All right, so now that we're up underneath the dashboard, you can see the connector for the throttle pedal. I'm gonna lift the red tab, depress the plug, and unplug it from the pedal. And now I'm going to connect my throttle controller to the throttle pedal plug. Push down the red tab. I'm also going to take the throttle pedal wire harness and plug it into the throttle pedal. Push down till it clicks, push down the red tab. And then I'm going to run the wire for the throttle controller up through the dashboard, through the steering column, and out next to the steering wheel. Now finally that we have our wire fished up through the steering column, we can make our connection to our little digital controller. Just plug it right into the side. And then you can peel the 3M backing off and stick it onto your dashboard wherever is convenient for you. So for us, we'll just throw this right here underneath the headlight switch. And that's going to wrap up this review and install for the SpeedForm Throttle Controller. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.